Welcome back to Parent Squad. College move-in season is here, and whether it's your student's first year or third, the right setup can make any small dorm room more organized and comfortable. So how can we as parents help make that happen? Jeanine Bobenmoyer from the City Moms is here to show us. Of course, we love when they come because they show us all the hottest new items. This is such an exciting time for parents, for students. It's just a really good time, and you want them to be prepared, start off on the good foot as they go out into the world.
I know, and you know that I'm feeling this firsthand because my son is headed to college in just a couple of weeks. So
I know. Okay, mommy hug.
I know, thank
hugs
you.
for mom here. Yeah, we know it's quite a transition for the
Yeah.
household, but you want to make sure that they are prepared and ready.
Yes, absolutely. And I mean, really, it's about putting some easy, simple systems in place for them because they're not going to have the conveniences of a home, but at the dorm level or maybe into their first apartment, we want to make sure they have the things that they need.
Absolutely. Okay, so see, I see you have some laundry things over here. Tell us about those.
So we're starting first with what makes it the easiest for laundry, because that is going to be a big adjustment for kids that are leaving home for the first time. And what we're finding is that these pop-up hampers are really just kind of making a big splash right now because they're collapsible. So when they're not in use, hopefully they are in use, but if not, you know, these are going to be easy enough to tuck under a bed or into a closet. So this is a really nice one. Plus, it's also breathable. I have a son. I know you have a son. Mine's going to the gym or running often. So this will help kind of keep that smell, not necessarily like contain, maybe air it out a little bit between those washings. But that's going to be really helpful. Also, keep in mind that, you know, kids aren't always accustomed to that powder detergent or how to essentially apply that. So the pod detergent's really going to be helpful for them to have. It's easy, you know, one pod goes in with one laundry, you know, with one load.
Hopefully you taught them all of this before they actually leave.
Right.
But, you know, we're trying to make it easy and we're trying to set them off on a good foot.
We're still working on my son with laundry. So, you know, this is definitely going to be probably the easiest lift for them for laundry as well. And then we start kind of talking about, you know, like showers. This might be their first experience with shared kind of bathroom or shower situation. So the easiest thing that you can do for your freshman or your college student is just get them a shower caddy.
You need a caddy.
You need a caddy. Some of the biggest things to look out for, make sure they've got some perforated holes, again, so that there's not mold that's going to fester in there if they stay wet. But you want to pack this with all of their must-haves. So I went kind of Costco sized on the body wash. Just so
You're like, I'm trying to make sure you are good.
Exactly. So I've got these, I've got a couple of these that are loaded up in his to-go bag, but that's going to be really critical. Obviously, some of those typical hygiene things, but also be thinking about what are some of their everyday items. My son has super curly hair, so he's always using, you know, some special kind of hair gel. So if there's a special hair gel, special face wash, like think about those things. You're going to want to make sure you're packing those.
Absolutely. Okay. Shower caddy is a must, especially depending on their living situation.
Yes.
Because some might have the shared bathroom down the hall. If you're lucky enough, maybe you have your own bathroom. Even still, you kind of need to carry your stuff.
Absolutely.
Okay, I see some other items here.
I know now we're kind of thinking about storage. So one of our favorite things is to consider having a bedside storage caddy ready to go for kids. So this hangs right off of the bedside. I've just got something tucked in here to kind of keep it upright, but you know, it hangs off with hooks. And that way they've got a resting place for a phone, a book. I mean, maybe if they're reading books at the end of a college day, who knows, right? But nice resting spot for a phone, maybe some chargers, maybe a water bottle, but that way it's within reach. A lot of dorm rooms aren't coming with nightstands.
I was going to say they may or may not have room for a nightstand, usually like it's a desk or something. So anywho, an idea for design solutions.
Yeah, absolutely. Couple other things.
Organizing solutions.
Well, and a couple other things you got to think about are electric cords, having multiple chargers, multiple electrical cords.
Yes.
But these charging towers are really, really popular for kids. You can have one of these on their desk, maybe one under the bed, but that way all of these devices can get plugged in and hopefully charged overnight so they're not showing up to class with some dead devices.
It's probably more than the laptop and the phone these days.
Yes.
You know?
Yeah, you've got a desk lamp, you've got, I mean, a diffuser.
Oh, yeah.
You might have a white noise machine too. So white noise machines, I know my son has slept with one since he was really young.
So he's just used to it.
Yes, exactly. So again, talking about some of the things that kids are going to need. This is by Yoga Sleep, and this is really nice one. This is actually one of their newest models, and it's cordless.
Okay, I'm thinking about a humidifier.
Yes.
That's something a lot of times you need in the wintertime.
Exactly. Humidifier and fans are going to be really critical for specifically this time of year.
Okay, makes sense.
So-
Especially in a dorm room, you don't always have control over the
Right.
temperature like that. It just
Climate.
kind of depends. Yeah, and then you got a roommate, so one
do.
person's hot, one person
Yes.
is a little. We sleep with a fan on, so like
There you
imagine
go.
rooming with someone who doesn't do that.
Right.
Like, right there is an issue.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, more organization over here.
Yeah, so this is one of our favorite items for college dorms, something that I definitely recommend every parent
People
think about.
forget this.
They really do. So this is a little first aid kit / medicine kit.
Okay.
So what we've packed in here, you can see, are all of those things that kids might need throughout the year.
yeah.
So we've got cough drops. We have Benadryl. We have some ibuprofen. We have acetaminophen.
Yeah.
We've even put in here, and the top shelf, which is kind of laying out next to you, Felicia.
Oh, okay, I see. It goes in. I thought it
yeah.
was separate. It actually goes in.
So these are Band-Aids. We've thrown in some Neosporin. I mean,
Yes.
all the things that kids need that is a medicine cabinet at home, they're not going to have in the dorm. So
I love that.
What
Goes
can
right
you
in
pack
there like
them with?
that.
Exactly. This tucks very easily under a bed or even on the top of a closet shelf.
This is such a cute container, first of all. But we're not thinking about all of these. So the Benadryl, ibuprofen, that's something. You get a headache and things like that,
Yeah.
or even the Tums. These are all the things that kids don't even think that they need
Exactly.
because it's just always been at your house. So
Yeah.
that is such a good reminder. At least get some basic painkillers
Yeah.
or something for if they get sick, so you don't have to think about that. They're in the middle of schoolwork. They may or may not have
Right.
a car there. And then all of a
Right.
sudden, we used to have to try to bum rides to get to
Sure.
the store.
Oh, absolutely, or to the
now
pharmacy,
they can
or-
order things. So
Yes.
that really kind of changes things and makes it easier. But
Yeah.
if it's already there, it's one less thing to worry about.
Yeah,
I love
absolutely.
it.
Well, and one last tip, you kind of actually teased right into it, which is, if your child has things that they are regularly using on a monthly basis, set them up for an Amazon Subscribe and Save.
Oh.
Or even look at an Instacart delivery for them on a monthly basis. So maybe it is, again, like the hair gel, maybe it's some toothpaste, but for my son, he has a very specific face cream that he uses.
Yeah.
So think ahead.
See, I'm already hesitant because I'm like, I feel like that built character with us. We had to try to find someone with a car. We had to try to figure out the logistics of how some things are going to work. And you
Yeah.
really appreciate things more when you have to do that. Now it's so
know.
simple. They could just order things.
I know,
But
just shows up.
yeah, it just shows up.
Yeah.
Okay, well, hopefully you can use some of these ideas to help your young adult feel like home and help warm that space up and get them to help get some of the logistics out of the way so they can be focused on their schoolwork. Jeanine, thank you so
Yeah,
much.
thanks for having me.
We have more on the City Moms at WTHR.com/Parent Squad. So stay with us because we have more to come.